video on there so we can continue to stay in the algo with YouTube, because YouTube is how people discover us, but then we're going to bring y'all over to Rumble, the dark side, because Rumble is way better than YouTube. So Marquette first discovered you on the Avengers panel FNF hosted in Access Vegas studio a little while ago. Yeah, that was a great discussion. You stood out as a classy gentleman and high value man. Much respect. Yeah,
appreciate that.
Definitely. That was a great discussion, actually.
Very good.
Speaking of which, during that discussion, we talked extensively about education in college, right?
Sure.
You're a very educated guy. You got, obviously you got your undergrad from Cal. You got your master's degree from Johns Hopkins. Great, fantastic universities, right?
Sure.
Can you tell the people a little bit about college? Is it a scam? If people do decide to go to college, how should they go about it? What's your thoughts on higher education in general? Because I would say in the past 10 years, there's been a complete shift where people are saying college is a scam, etc., which I agree with it to the most part, but there are circumstances where college is absolutely a necessity depending on what you want to go into. But what are your thoughts on this in general?
I want everyone to know there's a ton of cameras, so I don't know which camera to look into.
Don't worry about it.
But I'm dead serious. I would look you in the eye if I knew which eye, okay? I'm very serious. And, yes, I've gone to elite universities, and I've also done business with a tremendous number of universities. That was my business.
Yeah.
I could say that I'm an expert at some level, right?
No, you are.
So it is I appreciate that. And, I wanted to give you guys also your compliment when the gentleman had asked about, how's he going to do his shorts for Jay Waller. And I want to say, this is the guy who knows. You guys are the experts in this stuff. So he got advice from the expert, which is where you should go. Anyways, with regards to college, is college a scam? There are many things that you hear common in the culture that are frankly either too simple to be true or they're outright lies. Is college a scam? If you just take that sentence, that is a complete lie. And I say this as a person who, if I could do it over again, would not go to college.
Damn. So guys, listen to what he's about to say here. This is very important stuff.
So is college a scam? Absolutely, it is not a scam. If you're talking about just across the board, if you go to an elite university, you take a degree in remove elite. If you go to any university, you take a degree in mathematics, you take a degree in software engineering and electrical engineering and computer science. You take a degree in chemistry. You take a degree in accounting. Those are all degrees that will lead you to what's called gainful employment.
Yeah. You will get an entry-level position somewhere.
Those are strong degrees. And with mathematics, you can go into currency speculating, you can go into paper assets, you can go into Wall Street, you can go into investment banking. You will make that money back. The great majority of degrees, you see, college is not a scam. The degree you pick makes it a scam.
Bam. There you go. That
is choice. It's choice.
If you major in something that ends in the word studies, Chicano studies, African-American studies, gender studies, fill in the blank with something stupid, studies.
Stupid.
You have been scammed, but guess what? Like Khaled said, you played yourself. Yeah, no one else did that to you. So that aspect of college is a scam. What are the critical aspects of college that get you to the next level? The network.
Yeah.
And if you want the network, you can't go to an average college. You have to go to an elite college because you're with wealthy families. My first tech company that was successful, you're all at the early stages, you're broke. You need money. And I remember I was working hard on a company, good buddy of mine, because I founded a fraternity when I was in university. So I have strong relationships. Jewish young man. He had already founded a company that was successful. And in fact, it was his mother that encouraged me to go into business. I was trying to help people. I wanted to teach for America. I wanted to help young, impoverished Black kids like myself realize that education can take you anywhere. That's what I was focused on. And she told me, and I write this in my book, The Black Box, she said, hey, Marquette, based on what I know of you, you're a leader. What are you doing being a teacher? I said, I'm thinking about running a nonprofit after this. She said, oh, you want to run a nonprofit, do you? She was like, are you a rich man's wife? Are you a rich man's wife? Because that's what they do. They create nonprofits and then they get their husband to give them a little money and their husband's friends give a little bit of money. She's like, but if you really want to do something, if you're really a leader, you need to be able to cut the check. And if you want to cut the check, you need to be a businessman. Stop with this nonsense of being a school teacher. You went to Berkeley and Johns Hopkins to become a public school teacher. She said it like it was pathetic. It was almost made me ashamed to want to help people in that way.
Yeah.
She says, let others do it. It's not for you. Now, I say that to say this. I went from that and went into business. Is college a scam? No, because my mother couldn't tell me that. This Jewish kid's mother, who was a professor and a successful journalist around the world, and her husband is a successful entertainment lawyer in Los Angeles and represented all of the stars. She was able to tell me that. I only had access to her because of the college I went to. And then when I fell short on capital for my startup company, which I had sacrificed everything for, sacrificed my personal credit, sacrificed all of my money, sacrificed other people's money. When I ran out of money, my buddy David says, he's like, hey, how's your startup going? Oh, it's going pretty good, you know. He was like, oh, okay. And he knew I'd been working hard and he knows the kind of man I am. He says, hey, I got a bunch of cash I got to do something with. I don't want to take it to the bank or anything like that. He's like, I'll give it to you. You just give it back to me when you can. Now, mind you, his startup's cracking. I forget exactly how much it was. Maybe he handed me like $8,000, which to now is like, we'll fuck that off in a day. Yeah. But at that time, when you have no money and you're like in your early 20s, it's like, damn, you just handed me $8,000 with no contract. Just love. Just love. I personally did not have friends who could do that I grew up with, who were living a legal lifestyle. Yeah. Right? So getting access to those kind of people was a direct result of the university I went to. Yeah. And it didn't end there. And from there, I branched out a massive network that can allow me to do anything. And, when people say funny shit on the internet, it cracks me up because, sometimes I'm on a live session. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to such and such country tomorrow. And they're like, you're not going to, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. And I was like, that's strange. Cause like, not only am I going to that country, like I know the head of police there. And it's like the network is so strong now. You're in government. So I know so college, if you want to go big, network matters, and where you went to school matters. It's a social call. It's like a business card. It's like a social thing, But if you're paying directly to get an outcome, you need to take a good degree, and it doesn't matter what college you go to at that point. Now, if you're a kid who doesn't like school, and many don't, I didn't like school. I was good at it, but I didn't like it. I would love to study under someone like you, if that's what they want to do. Like they want to get into your field, study under someone like you. That's called an apprenticeship. Right now, I'm doing a practicum, which is essentially a course where you get to learn. I'm doing a practicum called How to Create and Monetize Your App. So you're getting the lecture type education that you would get regularly, but I'm also actually building an app, and you're going through the entire process. I'm telling you everything that I'm doing. I'm investing this amount of money. Here's why. Hey, we need to do version 2. We're on the beta. What do you think we need to change? Hey, I got a task for you. I want you to do this work. So by the time you're done with my practicum, if you were to apply to a job, you could say, hey, I've experienced bringing 100,000 users onto a technology. I've experienced onboarding. I've experienced doing customer discovery. I've experienced with AWS. I've experienced hiring developers, and you've actually done the things. And one of the young men had said something to me that was entertaining, and it let me know I was doing the right thing. He said, hey, Marquette, this is kind of hard. What he meant was tedious. That was the word. It's tedious. Like you actually have to do stuff to get paid. And I was like, that's right. It's not hard. It's tedious. And it's important that you understand that it's tedious. And that is why I have all of my cars are 100,000 plus, because I'm willing to go through this. But here's the thing. Once you finish, you never really finish, but once you get to market and users get on it, you have what's called a money machine, and the money keeps on going. And now you're in a different position than these other suckers who are working day and night, 9 to 5. Yeah. So if I don't want to go to college, I take my practicum, which you can get at marquettism.com. Or I'd study under someone like you, because to be able to watch you and observe how you guys work and how you network, that is the ball game, is getting to the transaction. How do I get paid? College doesn't teach you how to get paid. It might teach you how to be a great employee, but it won't teach you how to get paid as an entrepreneur.
Wow. And that's probably one of the best explanations for it. From my experience too, because I've always said, in general, college can absolutely be a scam, depending on what you do. Yeah. Like me, for example, right? If I had not went to Northeastern in Boston, I wouldn't have met certain individuals who made me have a different outlook on life, on what is possible. Yeah. Made me realize that material things are stupid. Spending a bunch of money on Jordans might not be the best move. Spending a bunch of money on designer, etc. Right? At least especially in my younger age, when I didn't have the money to do so, living beyond my means. Like it taught me, like, hey, like being successful is like the number one thing, and then you can go ahead and choose to buy that stupid shit once you make the money. But when you're building up, you gotta, it's delayed gratification. So it definitely opened me up to like a different class of people, because I had never been around rich people until I went to college. Right. It's just like your situation where you were exposed to this woman who was a lawyer, journalist, and she was a professor who was married to a lawyer. Powerful people.
Yes.
It lets you see what's possible, especially when you come from an inner city like I did, right?
Yes.
So I think that's important, but I 100% agree with you that if you're going to go the college route, it's got to be one of two things. You either got to major in something that's going to get you an entry-level job immediately, which is what you were saying before, or if you are going to have a bullshit degree, you better go to fucking Harvard or Yale. Because that network will make up for your shitty-ass degree. Because the reason why Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, Cornell, Princeton, Penn, Dartmouth, did I say Princeton? No, I said Princeton. I think it's like 8 or 9 Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
I named, I think, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But either way, you guys get what I'm saying. They're all in the Northeast, right? What's the one in New York? The one in
Cornell.
No, there's one in the city. In the city.
Oh, yeah. Columbia. Yeah.
Columbia, right? Like the reason why these schools, right, are so prestigious and people love them so much is because they have huge endowments, they have a huge network.
Yeah.
Once you get out, even if you major in something bullshit, you're gonna probably find a job.
Right.
Right? I mean, just to give you guys a perspective on how strong some of these schools are when it comes to networking and money, I'll never forget this. Harvard, right? As you guys know, crew is a very, affluent, rich sport, right?
Right.
Now, a boat, guys, an Empacher is about $50,000 an 8, right? And I used to row in college. And it was a struggle for, Northeastern to get a boat here and there. Boston University, we get boats every now and then, right? Because, it's a private school. A lot of wealthy people are alumni. Harvard has a waiting list. You're on a waiting list to donate $50,000 to get a boat named after you. I mean, if that doesn't
Boss talk.
Yeah, man. Like that.
Boss talk.
That's the difference, man. And we used to make fun of Harvard and, talk our shit, blah, blah, blah. But schools like that where there's a waiting list to donate $50,000, that tells you guys the type of, once you have a degree there, the type of network you're going to be open to. So if you are going to major in something bullshit, you better go to a damn good school that's going to get you a job. Northeastern, they had a co-op program, which I was able to get my government job through them because they had connections with Homeland Security.
Boom.
So that was how I was able to get my foot in the door to get that job, 6-figure job out of college. It started at 60, 70K. I worked for 4 or 5 years, hit 100K. Was able to take that money, invest it. Now you guys have the podcast that you see here.
Yes.
But I would not have been able to do that had I not went to college. So my thing when it comes to college is it's got to be either A, you're majoring in something that's going to find you an entry level job, or it's going to get you a skill set that will be higher earning, like a doctor, lawyer, etc. Or you better go to a damn near Ivy League school that will get you a network that will get you a job right out.
Can I say something crazy?
Please.
And, I can say just fine now, but I was considered going into clandestine services for a number of probably obvious reasons. Application didn't fully go through.
Intel agencies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you agree that there are feeder schools that, if you really want to be well positioned to go into FBI, CIA, Homeland, there are a number of feeder schools that you're going to have a much better opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right?
The guy that hired me was a Northeastern alum.
Bingo.
That's how I got in with Homeland Security. Like, so I was the things that helped me was I was an athlete, Division I athlete. I had a 3.3 GPA, but I spoke Arabic as well. But that helped me because the guy that hired me was a Northeastern former football player, and I was an athlete. So they're like, okay, this guy has good grades and he's an athlete, speaks Arabic. Boom, let's pick him up.
Yeah.
But if I didn't go to Northeastern, I would have never got that job. And there's definitely universities that have shoo-ins with certain agencies or certain
Heavily
positions.
reliant.
Yeah.
You know,
heavily.
so that's also something as well. And I think that kind of gets overlooked. But again, a lot of the times, a lot of y'all go to college at some shitty ass school with a shitty ass major with a shitty ass degree. Yeah, you're not going to get a job. But if you go to a more prestigious school that has a network, or you're majoring in something that will get you a job, then it's worth it.
People underestimate the power of a network. You made a very good point, because even getting a degree, you might know something, but you don't know the workspace. You don't know, for example, the culture, the career, how it even works. Versus you have someone that knows, like a professor that you shadow or you kind of like apprentice. He can say, you know what? Marquette is a quick student. He's very well laid out. He's very well set up, and he wants to do well and work hard. You know what? I have some buddies over here with a company. They want to hire somebody, and people that went to school, did honors, everything like that. They don't know anybody, but they want a job.
That's right.
But guess who gets it? The guy that they know.
Yeah.
But inside.
Every time.
All the time.
Every time.
And is it fair? No.
Life is not
But whose
fair.
fault is it?
Yeah.
Your
Your fault.
network. That's
They
on you.
literally had something called over at the H-side. They had the Northeastern Mafia, like and a bunch of alum that graduated from Northeastern, and then they opened up that internship program for students specifically from Northeastern. So certain schools do have shoo-ins with certain government agencies, companies, startups, whatever it may be that you want to get involved in. Like, figure out what you want to do, figure out which schools have the best connections to do so, and go and do it. Go in there with. I think the biggest mistake is when you go in undeclared. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going in there without a plan.
Do not do that.
That's when you mess up.
Do not do that.
I had a friend. He wasn't really good at networking, but he asked a question to his. I think he asked his teacher a question. He said, "Hey, listen, I want to get a job after this is done. How do I go about it?" He said, "You know what? I'm gonna watch it more closely. I'll pay attention to what you got going on. We'll see from there." He did well in school. Stay later than most students. Did all the homework. He saw the focus and confidence. He said, "You know what? I'll make a phone call." Made a phone call. Now he's working at Microsoft.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's how it works.
That's a good gig.
And I think the biggest takeaway here, guys, is if you're going to go to college, go in with a plan.
Yes.
Go to a prestigious school or major in something that's going to get you a job. Try to get scholarships so you can lower your debt.
Yeah.
If not, then go. If you're not sure what you want to do,
bro.
get a trade.
Yeah, simple.
And you got 2 college grads here telling you guys that, like, if we could do it again, we could probably get by without school.
Stop it. I would not do it.
Yeah, but especially nowadays, with all the knowledge out there for free. But,
it's different. It's so different. Yeah.
It is. It's way different now, especially with the internet and you being able to learn so much online. I mean, when I was going to college in like 2009, you didn't have this vast amount of information for free on the internet.
Right.
Like YouTube wasn't a thing like that. It wasn't like an education tool like that. But like nowadays, it's crazy how much info.
I have a friend, right, that studies so hard in school, bro. Like every day studying, going crazy, got a master's degree. I think it was in like communications or whatever. Can't remember what it was in.
Some bullshit.
But you know where they work now? At a pet shop.
Damn.
And I'm like, wait, you spent all that time in school
Yeah, bro.
to work at a pet shop, minimum wage. I'm like, bro, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
But once again, it was choices that they made, degrees that they made, and not having a network. What do you expect?
Go to trade school.
Yeah, go to a trade school.
At that point,
For so many guys, if you don't know what you want to do, guys, don't go to college.
Yeah.
That's my biggest
That's
thing.
scary, bro.
Don't go to college if you don't know what you don't want to do. What else do we got here? 60 Minute Man finally got the